Good afternoon, folks. This is Darth Ravage 07 coming to you today with another Micro Galaxy quick review. I found a new ship on the shelves that harkens back to an old release that I did not open. So today you're going to get a coming together of old and new, and we're going to compare and contrast the Snowspeeder on the turntable. We're going to have a real 38 special. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, all the stuff down below. Thanks again for watching. You don't know how much I appreciate you all. Let's get this turned around and take a closer look at the Snowspeeder. And as promised, the real 38 special. Here's the old version versus the new version in the Armada Edition packaging. Luke Skywalker Snowspeeder, the ins and outs, the stuff and the things. If we look at the back of the box on both, you can see it is a much older Series 2 release, and it came along with Bo-Katan's Gauntlet. The reason why I got into Micro Galaxy to begin with is because I found this in Birmingham, Alabama. I finally got this, got lucky and found this. So I've got this entire wave of Series 2 in the Starfighter class. That's the pain in the rear when it comes to collecting these days. You can't get the light armor class at all at Target. You can find them at Walmart, maybe. That's if there ain't a ton of Asajj of interest is clogging up the shelves. You got the same little set of features and what have you right there on the back of the box. Essentially the same thing. It's that this is supposed to be correctly colored like the movie, and I see some more orange bits in there than I did on this one. So let's get these out of the box. And I can already see, without taking it out of the box, that Armada Edition's paint job on the figurines are heckin' gone better than the simple stuff of the first release. Let's get them out of the box and take a closer look at both. And my initial, thoughts right out of the box is there's not a whole lot different that I can see with dying eyes, like right here. As far as the weathering and everything going on with the speeders themselves, even the color, they still got the ZZs in the same spot. You still got this other, subtle stuff. Something about this looks better than this, but then this could be just that early deco there in the beginning. Let me pull these up here and let you look at them closer. There is the original. There is the special on the right. And it's going to get a little confusing from there. It looks like it's cleaner decoed. But then that weathering looks better on the first one is what I'm thinking. Especially there on the back. You can see the back, how it's cleaner on the new one and what have you. And you got the little harpoons and tow cables that come out. And it's kind of laughable about them being harpoons and tow cables because they don't really come out that far. If you tilt, you get the flaps that come up each side accordingly. But I think it does it better on the original here than it does on the new one. They both have on the bottom a landing claw, and they just sit on the rear end of the speeders there. Not a whole lot to it. Here's your left profile of both. Straight on. And I swear that new one, it's got like you can tell it out because it has like a defect in it. So it's like good night. I got that AT-AT set's got more of these speeders and stuff in that case. So it's like I got my army builders going on. But that's the difference between the new one, and I spun it around like a goofball, between the new one on the left and the old one on the right. Now this is where I think that you get the most difference in it, and you can see it right off bat, not even out of the blister. You can see that they got dots there for the Rebellion on the helmets here on the right on the old one. The new one looks light years better. Let's get these guys out of the back package. Actually take a closer look at the back of the blister. It's got that recycling tab there, but you get both Dak and Luke. Armada Editions is in red, hologram. Safety colors, blue is in Rebellion, blue colors. Boom. And there they are, both in front of the ships. Let's take a look at the two Daks first there. Let's get them out. And with the dead Daks from the back on my fingers here, you can see how the first version's just got dots, and you actually got clear alliance symbols there. Paint throughout. And then we'll take a look at the back. Here is the original version of Dak right here in the back. It's kind of some sloppy paints. They've done a little bit better in places, and they miss, and they leave a paint spot just somewhere else. Like all things in retail, your mileage may vary. As for the Lukes, you can clearly see that the helmet here is the big first one, and then this one's got more paint detail there on the helmet. I'm going to try to roll this over and let you see that. Boom, all the way throughout. You got even alliance symbols there on Luke's Red 5 helmet. You got some of the same little paint blemishes there. You're missing one altogether there on the new one. And as it goes in and out of focus, these things are so tiny. But these are still, even with the little blemishes, they're still top-notch painted and accurate to what you see there in the movie. I mean, for such small figurines that just sit in a ship, there's a lot to be seen there. Let's get them in the ship now. Sort of kind of friction down inside with the tab between their legs. Look like that they're manning and everything. You got the clear plastic cockpits. It always makes me a little bit nervous, but all the same, these are well painted. And this one has a little trouble shutting, and now that it's shut, they're in there. You can see them scooting along the surface of Hoth in the Battle of Hoth there in Empire Strikes Back before we get getting stepped on by an AT-AT after an unfortunate blast in the back. Like I was saying, this is kind of laughable how far out that goes. It only goes out about 2.5 inches there, but at the little dial on the bottom, you can reel it back up. Just don't reel it back in all the way, as it will not sit flush back into the back of the speeder. If you do that much and then try to fit it in there, I think it gives you the best mileage. May vary. As you can see there, well detailed. Got the pew that you can angle all by yourself. It'd be kind of neat to have another dial to do that from the bottom. Thought that these little engines would double as, the flaps, but I mean, the flaps just automatically, as you tilt and play, they do their thing. And of course, the harpoon will flop along all by itself. Let's get the new guys in their ship. Those new little paint jobs, I don't know that it hardly warrants it, but it's there. If you didn't get the Snowspeeder the first time around, this is a great pickup all the same, as it has more accurate helmet paint jobs versus the actual paint used throughout the vehicle. And this thing, like I said, it's clear plastic, always scares me. And you can see them in there. It looks very, very movie-esque. So that'd probably be the fodder. This one over here in the background might be the fodder for my walkers. And then I'll use this one to zoom around. And maybe if I ever get around to making the panorama for my cave, I'd have this, in there. Maybe it'll wedge in there. There we go. But this one doesn't have as good as the other one. See, this one sticks, trying to tip over. Actually, that one just wants to open all the time. Boom. This one opens all the time. That one's having trouble doing its little air brake thing, but it's a nice little addition to the collection. If you like Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, and want to collect the ships at a friendlier price point, let's get it. And my editorial addendum, my apologies, guys, I overlooked a small detail here. As you do look over these things and miss small details, there is a slider on the back of the ship that lets you pop up the air flaps. And if you can get it center, you can get them both kind of stay down. On this one, it doesn't work as clean or as good. It's kind of a stickier kind of deal, but it does the same there. So you got the air flaps, slide left, slide right, but you got to make sure that harpoon gun is totally up in there, and that thing just keeps falling out. And this one actually kind of does it when you tilt it. So it kind of been neat if it just did it more with a tilt gyroscope kind of deal versus the slider there in the back. But hey, to each his own. Still a neat little feature. I easily overlooked the small details. No pun intended. Now let's get these guys into some final thoughts. Some final thoughts, like at a smaller scale, friendlier price points than the actual vintage class ships, this may be a way to go. This takes up less real estate. Looks good all the same. No matter if you caught it the first time around or you caught it a little bit later, Snowspeeders are still fun in their own right. I've had trouble adapting to the cold, so I thought this would be a good time to do this. And then don't have Tom-Toms yet, so I'll see you in hell. They'll probably come out Tom-Toms a little bit later. Trying to think really hard. I don't think there's any Tom-Toms with that multi-pack that came from the Jazzwares vaults, but still a high recommend, as I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Empire Strikes Back is one of my earliest first memories. There toward the end of that movie. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Empire Strikes Back, maybe you're not as old as I am, but I Am Your Father sticks in there and reigns supreme. And of course, when I was growing up, I had the Snowspeeder. I didn't ever get the X-Wing, but can get them all now since they're like anywhere between $9 and $16, depending on where they're being sold at, and or you can go on eBay and pay some aftermarket, but still get them fairly cheaper than the vintage class. Thanks again for watching my channel, guys. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, all the stuff down below. Thanks again for watching. That's the quick review of the Jazzwares Star Wars Micro Galaxy number 38 and 38A, or the 38 special Snowspeeder. And if you haven't watched Empire Strikes Back, go watch that movie right now. Stop watching my video. Go watch that. I think it's the best of the whole shebang. Thanks again for watching. Y'all have an excellent day. May the Force be with you all, always.